you know.
Hey guys, so thank you so much for having me today. And as I was mentioning before, David and Anka, this is going to be a little bit different because you've had the opportunity all this week with a lot of brilliant women who've been giving you advice on how to go about, especially this week with all the volatility with coronavirus and trading opportunities and what to watch out for. I decided to switch it up a little bit and go a little bit longer term. I personally, my journey has changed a little bit. From those of you who know me, I started out forex trading and then I got to cryptocurrencies and stocks. But as of literally 2 months ago, I've dedicated my goal to empowering moms to take control of their financial future. Now, I know that in this particular summit, we have some amazing women who've actually done this. So if you have any women in your life, or if you're a mom, or if you have a mom, or you have any moms in your life who you think they can also start doing this on their own, this is the place to be. So I just wanted to scan the room quickly and see if we have any ladies in the room, and if our guys are interested in passing this forward and basically starting up the conversation with the women in their lives who may be interested in taking control of their financial future. And that kind of is the game plan for today. So it is going to be a little bit different. And in the past month that I've started this, it's been just amazing, the feedback that we've been getting. So the reason why I'm super passionate about this is that I feel like every woman, especially moms, absolutely need this information. It's literally going to change the trajectory of your life and your families for the years to come, not just this week and next week and during the volatility and during the crash or whatever. So the people who actually do get their lives changed are the ones who actually get engaged with me on the chat box. So if you're alive right now, I would love to hear from you. Let me know where you're watching from. And please make sure that you're going to be engaged. So I do want to share, this is my cartoon lawyer, and she made me say a couple of things. The first thing is that you are not going to make a ton of money just while you're watching this presentation. And you won't become like a multimillionaire, but I'll tell you that I have helped thousands of people take control of their money and using the methods that I'm going to show you today. So my personal goal when I get started wasn't even to become a millionaire or to make a bunch of money and have passive income. My goal was just not to let the value of my money diminish by just leaving it in the bank, because guess what? The government does not have your back. You've seen it literally yesterday, the cut rate of the race again. They don't have inflation under control. And every day that your money remains in the bank, its value is going down, which means that your future is going to be expensive. And if you're wondering who am I, some of you might already know me. For those of you who don't, my name is Kiana Danial. I'm an adjunct professor of investment management at the University of New York in Japan. I'm the founder of the Invest Diva movement. I'm regularly featured in the media as an authority in investing industry, like on Forbes, Time, Fox Business, CNN, NASDAQ. And I'm known for breaking down the most complicated market phenomena in clear, useful, and approachable ways. And I've written a number of books on different types of trading and investing, and I've been published by the biggest publishers in the US. I was named the Personal Investment Expert of the Year 2018 and the Investment Coach of the Year 2019 by the Investment Funds Awards. But most importantly, I'm just a mom. And the only reason that I do the things that I do now is for my daughter, Jasmine, who's actually turning 2 tomorrow. So for the past decade, I have worked with people young and old, with men and women, just about anybody and everyone who wanted to trade and invest. But after I had Jasmine, it gave me a much bigger purpose to what I've been doing, and all of my investments became about her. So now I lead a tribe of proactive moms who want to create a better life for their kids too. We call ourselves Invest Divas. We don't rely on our husbands or the bank or money managers to determine our financial future. In fact, we do the exact opposite. We take control of our money because our financial independence is bigger than just us. It's for our kids and their children to come. We're different because we're finding well, actually against the boys of Wall Street. We don't want to pay commissions to money managers. We don't want our money locked up in a 401k, and we're not going to let it sit in the bank and lose its worth. So if you ask financial planners or money managers, they'll tell us that we shouldn't be investing in our own, but yet there are now hundreds of us doing it and growing our own wealth every day. So now in my family portfolio, I generate more than $500,000 per year. But that is not my goal for you guys today. My goal is for you to understand this process and learn it so that you can start taking control of your money, and maybe your husbands too. And if you're a husband right now in this room, maybe you can do this together. And we've had amazing success with couples who are investing as a team. So I'm having difficulty getting the chat up, but I do want to know how many of you guys are already trading. I think a lot of you guys are already trading, but how many guys are completely new? So this actually is going to be for both types, especially if you're a mom who wants to start investing early, if you're a mom who wants to pay for your kids' college, if you're a mom who wants to retire wealthy, if you're an empty nester who wants to create generational wealth, or I mean, just if you're a mom who loves your kids. But based on what I see out there within the mom groups that I've become active within, is that everything that you've been told about money and your money and what to do with it is dead wrong. And that's why I'd really like for you to stay until the end of this presentation. So let's get back to the how this whole thing got started for me. So I had my money in the bank when I was first living in Japan, and the 2008 market crash happened. And I didn't know anything about finance, and I literally sucked at math. But I heard that the government is printing money to save the economy, just like what they're doing right now. Now, what does that really mean? That means that leaving your money in the bank is actually going to like setting your money on fire. When the government prints money, the inflation goes higher. Inflation, which is the reason why your parents paid way less for a gallon of milk than you do, is designed to lower the value of your money every day. So every moment that your money is sitting in the bank, you're losing money. And when I found that out, I obviously wanted to change the way I was doing things, and I wanted to use the money that I had in the best way possible. I didn't know what to do with it. It was like, okay, the best thing I do is to have a financial advisor manage it for me. And it has to be better than just sitting in the bank or me doing it. I thought that they had my best interest in mind. I mean, it's their freaking job, right? But as it turned out, not so much. So I learned that they had their best interest in mind. They invested my money in stuff that made them more money, and they took a ton of commission out of the little money that I made. And then I look at the statistics, and I found out that money managers actually underperform the market average by 86%, and that you know, that is not something you want to do. So money managers who are supposed to be good at investing actually lose money compared to the market average, which is ridiculous. So a couple of years later, I really wanted that money back because I got fired from my job and I needed that money to pay rent. But when I called up the money manager, he told me that my money was locked up and he wanted me to pay a 75% penalty in order to take it out. What that means is that I put in $100,000 and came out with $15,000. Great investment, right? Not so much. So obviously this wasn't the best thing to do with my money. So I needed another way. I needed to take things in my own hands. So that's when I became obsessed with learning about finance and wealth. And I studied for the CFP, Certified Financial Planning, CMT, Chartered Market Technician, CFA, all these certified financial stuff. And I actually worked on Wall Street, learned some Japanese techniques, investment strategies. And now I double my investment year after year, which means I don't have to rely on money managers, and I'm not losing money to inflation in the bank, and I'm not even relying on my husband either. I mean, he's awesome, but I'm not relying on him. So now you guys should see why investing your money is the only possible good way to turn the money that you have and grow it for your family. Because when you put the money in the bank, the value depreciates every day, and it's like kind of like buying a new car and then driving it off the lot and never driving it again, and that car becomes less valuable every day as it sits in the driveway. Your money is the same way in the bank. But even worse than that is giving your money to a money manager is like handing your new car keys to a drunk person. Imagine you bought a new car, let a drunk person drive it, and they charge you a bunch of money to get it back. When you use a money manager, all of your hard-earned money is tied up in somebody else's fund who doesn't really have your best interest majority of times. And they will charge you for it too. But when you invest your money by yourself, it's like buying a new limited edition car and selling it back to a car fanatic for a lot more money. So let me ask you guys a good question. What are you guys doing right now to make your money work for you? I'm assuming a lot of you guys are traders. I would love to hear, what is your money doing right now? How much of it, I mean, you don't have to give me numbers, but what percentage of it you have in the bank for 1K? Do you have it managed by a money manager? Are you letting your husband handling all the finances? So as someone who comes from a traditional family, I totally get it, how easy it is to just leave off anything money to your husband. But unfortunately, one of the biggest myths ever told out there is that your husband will take care of your finances. I mean, my husband is awesome, but I'm not meaning to scare you, but the reality is that the average age of widowhood is just 59. And women live longer in general. Even the ultra rich people aren't immune to this. Like Kobe Bryant's wife. Like Kobe is the most awesome person ever, and she just died at 41. She did inherit millions after Kobe's tragic death, but she may not be fully aware of the extent of her husband's holdings and interests, and she probably doesn't even want to think about it right now. I mean, she did sue the pilot, but she's incredibly vulnerable, and there are probably many advisors and partners involved, and there is a strong chance that they will not act in her best interest and will take advantage of her while she's heartbroken and mourning, unless she was fully hands-on with her finances prior to Kobe's death. This one I actually don't know, but the one that I do know is Lady Gaga. She's a type of artist who does not invest at all in anything, and as a result, she actually was bankrupt and $3 million in debt after her Monster Ball tour. So it's not about how much money you make. It's about, are you educated enough to keep it and make it grow? That's why we hear stories of cab drivers who started investing early and finished off with millions in her bank account. So that's why, guys, there's no reason why you shouldn't be in control of your money right now. If you have a mom in your life, there's no reason why they shouldn't be taking control of their money either. And the sooner you accept this reality, the better off you will be. So here are some of the investors who have used the strategies in the presentation to take control of their money. This is Misty, who was able to 10x her initial investment in only 18 short months. She got on our private Facebook page and said, Kiana, thank you so much for the generosity and willingness to share all you've learned and studied over the years. This is Melissa, a single mom with no prior financial education, was able to become financially independent. And so here what we're going to talk about today, right? So there are 3 secrets to taking control of your financial future as a mom, all right? So secret number 1 is a no sweat investing. It's the easiest, low risk way to start controlling your money right now. Secret number 2 is a no math investing. Why being a math was going to actually cost you when it comes to investing. And secret number 3 is the no time investing. How to make profitable investments in just 1 hour per week, even if you are super busy. So let's start with secret number 1. It's a no sweat investing, the easiest, low risk way to start controlling your money right now. So when I first tell people that they should be investing, the first thing they usually tell me is like, Kiana, isn't investing risky? And if you've ever heard stories about how somebody lost a bunch of money in the stock market, you probably relate to this, especially this week. So let me tell you a little bit of story. So after I got screwed over by that money manager I told you about, I decided to go at the heart of the global finance, and I learned how to do this on my own. And I started working at the New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street as a reporter. And of course, I was dying to dive into the markets and start making my money work for me, like I'm sure a lot of you are right now. So since I was only learning, but didn't have much experience actually trading, I wasn't really confident in my choices. But what I did have going for me was that I was surrounded by the best traders and investors out there while I was reporting at the NYSE. So naturally, I was watching what others were doing and making my choices based on what other people were doing and what they were telling me to do. And I went all in with my savings of $15K at the time. And I was super excited to get started in growing that account. but it didn't get me too far. I kept following what everyone else was saying, and following the market noise, which Megan was actually touching upon right before this. And can you guys guess what happened? So I lost a whole $15,000 in that account. I lost my entire savings. And I was so upset and disappointed in myself. I mean, how could I lose all of my money when I was just listening to what other people who were making millions were doing? Like, how can I lose it, right? So after that, this guy called Guy Spire, who's actually a friend of Warren Buffett, he lives in Switzerland, he reached out to me. He saw a video I posted on LinkedIn. And he came in and said, Kiana, I know you have a lot of potential, but you're doing this all wrong. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm doing what everyone else is saying and everyone else is doing. And he said something that really literally changed my life forever. And he said, you got to stop trading and you got to start investing. So some of you might be thinking, wait, isn't trading and investing the same thing? The answer is obviously not. So I'm not here, I'm not trying to really bash trading. If you are trading, you gotta be, this needs to be your job, right? If you're trying to just do it on the side, something that is not taking so much time, especially as a mom, then trading is not for you, because trading is higher risk, is short term, requires a lot to start with. Because if you're starting, a lot of brokers go there and you can start with $50, but that is like literally the recipe to losing all that initial money. And it is an all-day job. Investing is lower risk, is longer term, is to build wealth. And you can start small and build on top of it. And you can literally do it in only 1 hour per week. So let's get back to the story. So I took my friend's Guy Spire's advice and I started a new account with $500. That's all I had now, right? So I started making my own investments and ignoring all the hypes, all the trends, all the other people on Wall Street telling me what to do. And so after 3 years, I actually got pregnant with Jasmine. So we were going to need more space. We already had a budget set aside to buy a house. But then we decided that we wanted additional rooms because my husband and I both have family outside the US, and we wanted them to be able to visit and stay with us and feel comfortable at the same time without everybody being at each other's faces. How you guys don't want your in-laws to be at your faces all the time. So that required us to stretch ourselves a little bit, and the amount that we already had set aside for the house. So we had $350K set aside for the down payment, and our dream house, we needed an additional $50K ASAP because we already saw it, right? So at this point, I was like, okay, let me look at some of my investment accounts. And at this point, I was investing a bunch of different accounts as well, but this was only one of them. This is the one that I started with $500 3 years before. And I was like, this is it. And in 3 years, that account had grown to $53K, which means I had grown it 100 times the initial investment. So what did I do? Bum, bum, bum. I took that $500 and grew it into a $50K additional down payment on our house. And in some cities, this $50K alone could cover the entire down payment for a house. So do you guys see the power of investing? So I never would have been able to do that and contribute to our dream house if my $500 was just sitting in the bank or it was in some money manager's fund, right? So now tell me what you could turn your investment into. How much do you have right now that you could actually put into investing? It took me 3 years to grow $500 into a house. So let's say that you invested $500 today. What would you use it in 3 years for? What if you continue growing it for 5 years, 10 years? What if you, instead of $500, you start with $10,000 and turn into $100K, $500K, even $1 million over time? So would you pay for your kids' college, turn into a larger home like I did, travel the world, help your family, right? What will you do with $1 million in 5 years? So now that you're listening, you're like, okay, you get it that investing is probably one of the best things you can do with your money and additional revenue stream, but you're probably thinking, okay, where do I start? How is it different than trading? And do I have to create like a bunch of accounts? Like how do I go about it, right? So these are the steps that I take. This is like super easy, right? So the first thing you're gonna do is get an app like Robinhood. This is, if you're in the US, This is an app that I use 90% of the time, and it's more than sufficient. And then you need to identify your risk tolerance, which is basically how risky you can afford to be. For example, when I have my daughter, my risk tolerance went down because now I had to support her too and think for her long-term goals. Meanwhile, because I'm making more money, my ability to take a risk is higher. So there are two components to it, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Then in step number 3, you will want to choose a stock that matches your risk tolerance, right? So this is like the best, what we've been talking with my premium investing group members this week, for example. Literally this week, there are so many investment opportunities, but not all of it is relevant to everybody. Like you and I are different. The stocks that I'm investing in this week is probably going to be different than the stocks that you should be investing, depending on where you are with your financial situation. So, and I mean, some of you are like, okay, Kiana, this is great for you. You're like the queen of investing, but I've never done this before. And if you've never done this before, even if you've never done this before, like this is Cynthia. These are a couple of investors who are brand new to investing. So Cynthia is a freelance social media manager, a mom to an 18-year-old. And she had no experience investing in anything ever, started her investing journey with my system, and made her first dollars in only 2 months. This is Tiffany in New York. She was on a similar webinar actually not too long ago, had a full-time job, got in the system, and she was able to control her finances, and she was actually able to accomplish her goal of buying a condo. This is Darlene, who actually was a day trader. She wasn't doing very well, and in fact, she was losing money. So she came in through the Investiva journey in my system, and in just 9 short months, she grew her diversified account by 47%, a lot better than the market average. And what that year it was 8. So these are some of the stories that are just super heartwarming for me. And now you might be thinking, okay, well, I'm already investing. I have my 401k. But do you guys know where our investments actually go when you have a 401k? And this week is yet another example of if you had your money in the 401k and you had to get it out this week, you would probably be screwed over, right? Because 401k, those investments also go directly to mutual funds that are underperforming the market average. And if the market crashes, when you're ready to take the money out, you're actually going to end up losing the money inside your 401k. And on top of that, if you want to take out the money early for whatever reason, then you'd have to pay a penalty for withdrawing the money early. So keeping all of your investment just in your 401k, once again, is locking your money up in a place that is completely out of your control and at the mercy of somebody else who 96% of the time won't even match the markets. And in fact, you guys, Americans lose $5.7 billion each year to 401k and IRA early withdrawal fees. That's crazy. I'm not saying just pull it all out, but you want to have an additional stream that you are in control of, that you can use when you need during an emergency. All right. So you guys, you can now see that how investing your money is the easiest, low risk way to start controlling your money right now. Let's move on to secret number 2, which is why being a math whiz actually can cost you money when it comes to investing. Now, this is the biggest question that I get over and over again when I work with moms. And is that, Kiana, this is such a cool idea. It's so exciting, but I suck at math. I want to get started by my brain. Or I'm not smart, or I was never good in school. So I want you guys to know something about me is that I'm literally no one special. I don't have any supernatural gifts. And I actually really struggled with math. And yes, this is me at school. They had to get me a tutor in class to help me with mathematics. And that's what I love about investing, is that I don't have to worry about math whatsoever. And yeah, I did go to college in Japan, and I do speak Japanese, so this is in Japan. But so let's get back to why being a math whiz can actually cost you when it comes to investing. So this is my Aussie husband, Matt, and he's from Melbourne, Australia, and he's an actual rocket scientist, like literally a rocket scientist. He designed the world's fastest helicopter, and now he works super hard and ultra long hours at a big company. He is such a math geek that we got married on the Pi Day of the century, 3/14/2015. You guys know what pi is, right? We even had a pie-shaped cake and everything. So I went along with it because I thought that's what's expected from the wife of a rocket scientist. But after getting married, my rocket scientist, math genius, geek of the husband wanted to start investing his money too. And he put his money into my investment account. We started trading together on one joint account, one of the accounts that I was managing. And I taught him my system for investing. But right off the bat, he thought that he can outsmart my system because he's basically a math genius. And I'd been investing in that account for years. But since he put in a lot of his own money, he had an opinion too now, right? So in the beginning, he'd come to me, wanted me to make all of these risky trades, not investments, because his math made sense. And first I was like, sure, after all, he is a math genius, so he probably knows better than me. So even though I didn't like his mansplaining, I started listening to him. But things started going south from there because being a math genius, his ego now was at risk, right? And he doesn't like it when I share this, but every time we made money based on his suggestions, he got super excited and was like, yeah, who's a man? I told you. But every time that we lost, he got super upset and wanted to get back, come up with a quick math solution to make up for the losses. And he was just digging a deeper hole. It was like being at the casino, losing, then taking more money out of the ATM. But I mean, Margaret was actually touching on this before. The markets aren't about math, they're about psychology. And in fact, research shows that women are better at investing than men. Female investors outperform their male counterparts. And it's because we're probably better at understanding the psychology of the markets. So Matt finally swallowed his pride and realized that my investing system is getting better results on his math. And even though my account was smaller, I was getting better results. So if you're a guy here, you probably want to listen to your wife. So that's why he gave up on trying to beat my system. Now I manage half of his annual income is through an investment account that I manage during zero math. So now I'm sure you're thinking, okay, Kiana, what the heck is this freaking system you're talking about? So here's a really basic overview of the system that I use. I've really made it basic. I've taken a bunch of things out. If you guys are familiar with Ichimoku, this will be incredibly simplified, but I just wanted to show you what the framework is, right? So this is the Tesla stock before the price went out of control to the moon. So this line obviously shows the price. And in August 2018, the price of Tesla was $323, right? So the next thing that I look at is this cloud. This is called the Ichimoku cloud. Some of you guys may be familiar with it, and I've taken out a bunch of other indicators on this chart. So basically, when this black line goes below the Ichimoku cloud, that means that the prices are going to get cheaper and I'm going to buy. And then my system, so I have, again, taken it out. I use Fibonacci, and it shows me how low the price can go. And based on my risk tolerance, I pick one of those levels. So for me, the system showed me that the price could go at least to as low as 262. So I decided that I'm going to buy the Tesla stock at 262, right? So once I buy the Tesla stock at 262, when it reaches it, now I want to use the system to find a good price to sell the Tesla stock to make profit, right? Buy low, sell high. So yeah, so we put the buy limit order and monitor the chart. On October, so the buy limit order goes through. Then months later, on October 25th, the price breaks above the cloud. So now I know that soon is going to be a good time to sell. So what do? The system shows me that an optimal price to sell for a medium-term investment is $327 at the time Tesla was ranging. And that really is the gist of it. So I place my sell limit order, and that's it. I go about my day. So that means that in just a few months, I earned $65 per Tesla share. Now, if you had bought 100 Tesla stocks with the system, you would have made $6,500, just like I did, right? And we did this over and over and over again. I'll show you in a little bit how we did this same exact range trade over and over again. I made a ton of money while a lot of people were just waiting for the Tesla stock to break out of control, which was, again, awesome. And we saw that coming in the long run as well. But in the meantime, for 5 years, we're going in and out of Tesla stock using this exact system, right? Literally spending 5 minutes over 3 times. And that is exactly what I use to outsmart my husband and his math. And that's also exactly how now I manage his account, right? So now you guys can see why math can't beat the system. You saw exactly what I do, and you can see that math has absolutely nothing to do with your ability to make good investments in the market. And so this is Ilaria, who started her investor journey, not even in the US, she's from Italy. And literally 2 months after starting to learn the system, she came on our Facebook group and reported her #DivaWin. Her broker executed her buy order that the system has shown her. And from there, the stock price started going up, making her a profit. This is Ivan. Well, of course, he followed our signals, and he saw the 88% return in only 3 months in Tesla stock. And this is how I showed you guys how being a math whiz can actually cost you if it gets into your ego. But you definitely don't need it to make profitable investments. But now you might be saying, okay, I get it. I should be investing. I know how to avoid taking a ton of risk. And I totally see why I don't need to be a math whiz to be profitable, but I'm really busy. Especially if you're a mom, you can identify with it. How on earth can I find the time to do all of this? So that's why we're going to jump into secret number 3. How to make profitable investments in just 1 hour per week, even if you're super busy. So I don't know about you, but I can't even sleep consistently throughout the night because of my daughter. So it's super important for me to nap during the day, or I can't function as a human being. And the thing is that we're just all so busy. And if we find any spare time, if trading is not our job, we prefer to take a 5-minute nap, right? And I get it. You're busy. I'm busy. So for most of you, you don't want to sacrifice nap time or family time or your job on other things. And I don't want to give that up either, right? And the thing is, back when I first started, I was paying way closer attention to the markets than I do now. I'd spend hours and hours every single day analyzing the trends, trying to find the next best move. And even I used to report for big financial companies globally, and that was great. But after I had Jasmine, my hands were obviously pretty full. So if you're anything like me, you know how it was. Like my daughter, she was taking up 90% of my time awake, and that other 10% I was completely exhausted. So it was impossible for me to keep up the way that I used to, right? So what I started to do instead of being stuck to my screen all day was to check the markets only once per day in just one of my 15-minute pumping sessions when Jasmine was sleeping. So I went from hours per day to only having 15 minutes to manage my accounts. And then I took it one step further and shrunk it to only 1 hour per week. So thankfully, there is a way that I can do this, and you probably already know about it, but it's just super simple, right? So let's go back to that Tesla stock example. So I actually made that investment along with 5 other investments while I was pumping milk for my daughter that day. And remember how the system showed me that the price could go down to as low as 262? Well, now instead of constantly checking my chart to see if the price actually gets there, I just simply told my Robinhood app that I want to buy at 262 whenever it reaches it. This is called a buy limit order. You guys, you gotta use limit orders. After I place the buy limit order, which literally takes less than 1 minute, I go about my day and I forget about anything investing, right? Once my buy limit order goes through, like 3 months later, I get a notification from my app saying that my order has been executed. Yay, I'm super happy. So now what do? I want to use my system to find a good price to sell a Tesla stock with profit. Again, this doesn't have to be immediate. I don't have to go back to my chart right there when I get the notification. Because remember, we're not day traders. We have plenty of time to take the next action. So what do? Every Tuesday, I actually do this. So my system, I went back probably like 3 days later, I checked on the stock. And eventually every week I was, the system showed me that a sell option as a sell resistance level for Tesla stock is at 327. So I tell the Robinhood app to sell at 327, go about my life, and this is called the sell limit order, right? So that's exactly how I made $6,500 just by spending 5 minutes over 3 months. So, I mean, if you do the math here, this means that I earned $1,300 per minute at the time that I spent on doing this. How many of you guys would like to make over $1,000 per minute? So buy and sell limit orders are basically my secret weapon when it comes to investing in a business schedule. It's like kind of like using a crock pot. You just set them, forget about them, then come back later and eat the profits, smell the profits, right? So now using buy and sell limit orders, I take even less time. So what I do is every week on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., I go live. Actually, this is the time that I go live with our premium investors so that they can copy my moves as well. That is the only time in the week that I invest now. So you guys, I'm going to check the chat box over here. Yeah, oh, you guys are asking about Ichimoku. So you guys, so let me ask you a question. This is, like, do you think that if you followed this, I know and a lot of you guys are traders, but I mean, you can trade and invest at the same time. You can have multiple revenue streams, and I totally encourage you guys to do that. Personally, I have 5 different investment accounts as well. Some of them are higher risk, some of them are like, I have different goals for each of my personal accounts, and I really encourage you guys to do that as well. And if you guys think that if you follow this, if you follow what I just showed you in secret number 1, you download the app, start investing, and follow the strategy in secret number 2 with the Ichimoku and Fibonacci, and just keep it simple. Listen to what the Ichimoku clouds tell you, right? And then you place a buy and sell limit order. I did simplify it a little bit, but this really is the gist of it. Do you guys think that you could be successful doing this? Right? So we've covered some pretty cool stuff, right? We covered the no sweat investing, the easiest way and lowest way to start controlling your money right now, the no math investing, why being a mathist can actually cost you when it comes to investing, and the no time investing, how to make profitable investments in just 1 hour per week, even if you're super busy. So we've been going on for about half an hour, 37 minutes. So I'm curious, you guys, how many guys feel a little bit like this? They're like, what just happened? You're a little bit overwhelmed. So a lot of people, when they hear this, they get super hyped. They're like, oh my God, this is so awesome. And so my goal here was literally just to open your eyes to this new opportunity of investing your money to grow your wealth longer term and how it could transform your life. You could take action on it. So for some of you guys out there, you maybe already know the ins and outs. You can go and implement the stuff. But for some of you guys, this is all pretty new. And I want to make sure that you don't get lost. And so that's the reason why, and I was telling you about my mission and helping moms to get in control of their financial future. And that's why we put together this offer, the Wealthy Mamas Make Your Money Work For You system, which takes you or any mom in your life through the Invest Diva journey. So I wanted to ask you guys, would it be okay if I spend the next 10 minutes or so showing you what you're going to get if you invest in the system? Because this will literally like give you the ability to take what we just talked about today and implement it step by step, so you can start taking control of your money too. All right, so. And it's totally fine if you guys don't want to know the stuff. I'm already making money doing this. It's literally not about me. This is for you. So, because as I said, like I have everything going on for me. I have the investment accounts. My husband makes money. Like this is literally not about money for me. So if you're okay that I spend 10 minutes and show you how it can change your life, I'll go ahead and share it with you guys. The more the better. All right, awesome. So you guys, what are you gonna get when you invest in the system today? So the first thing you guys are gonna get is the Make Your Money Work for You 8-week power course. So I've taken all of the knowledge and the skills that I've accumulated over the past 12 years and put it right here for you. So you can fast forward through 12 plus years of winning and losing investments that I've been going through and get started the easy way. So over the last decade, I've seen hundreds of new trends, indicators, softwares, ideas that come about and promise that they're going to be the next best thing, but was guaranteed to make a ton of money. And while a handful of people do often make a ton of money using them, 98% of people do not. What does work, though, through my experience, is always the simple investment strategies that I use and teach every day. And that's what's inside the course. What you need to know, and only what you need to know. There's no get rich quick options or extra fluffy information that you'll never need. So if you're someone who wants to get rich quick, or if you're a day trader, this is not for you. But if you're someone who's serious about building wealth for the future of you and your family, then this is for you. So let me walk you through what you're going to get when you invest in the Make Your Money Work for You 8-week power course. So first thing you're going to get is the week one. So how the power course works. In week one, you're going to learn how to know exactly where you stand financially today, because that's super important. Week two, you're going to learn how to set up your financial plan like a pro. Week three, you're gonna learn how to measure your risk tolerance. You remember we talked about your ability and your willingness to take risk are two different things. Week four is you're gonna learn about how the markets work. Week five, you're gonna learn about how to open and set up your investment account like a pro. Week six is how to choose the perfect investments based on your risk tolerance that you identified in week three. And week 7, you're going to learn exactly when to buy and when to take profit. That is when we're going to go dive deep down on Ichimoku and Fibonacci. And week 8 is how to beat the boys of Wall Street at their own game. When I first created the Power Course, it was recorded in an 8-week period, but now all the modules are vaulted and loaded into a members area, so you can go and dive and heads on and go through it quickly, even if you want. Or you can take your time over a couple of months. And each module comes with a video, a downloadable audio file, a downloadable PDF, worksheets, and templates to help you take actions towards all the knowledge you're going to be gaining. And this is not going to be just random information. You could get that on YouTube. This is a step-by-step actionable plan so that you can become your money's boss and have total control over your financial decisions. So let me show you guys a couple of people who have had the opportunity to go through the Make Your Money Work for You system. Remember Misty from the beginning of the presentation. So she's a yoga instructor, constantly working on appointments, raising her children, doesn't have a ton of time. And even more than that, she's been battling with Lyme disease for many years, and her healthcare isn't covered by insurance companies. So she really wanted to do something. When her mom passed away, she got an inheritance, and she wanted to make it grow so that she can use it towards her out-of-pocket medical expenses. But she didn't know much about investing or trading. She invested in some weird asset she had heard from her brother. And you guys, she lost all of that inheritance of around 100K within a month. And the company she invested all of her money in went bankrupt and was delisted from the stock exchange. So, I mean, when she told me the story, I was like, I still get goosebumps when I say the story. But so at this point, she didn't have any lump sum of money. She had to continue to pay for her healthcare out of pocket. And as a yoga instructor, as a mom, she wasn't making all that much. She was getting into a huge amount of debt. And that's when she came to me and asked if I can help. She got in with the system, and she spent some time getting the stuff figured out. And when she was done, she was able to set up the perfect portfolio with a system that I just showed you. And look at what happened. She paid off her medical expenses for that month. And the proceeds that she made through the investigative process made it possible for her to continue her treatment. And she got into our Facebook group. It's a screenshot that she reported her hashtag DivaWin. And she started with almost nothing because she had already lost all of her inheritance, you guys. She started with almost nothing, and she made $16,000, $16K over here. Just imagine if she had started with a system before she lost all of her money. You guys, it would have been crazy, right? So, and this is what makes me happy. This is the reason why I've decided to dedicate my work to this mission. This is my big sister with her family and my daughter on my sister's birthday. So she has been in real estate for the past 10 to 15 years. And she didn't believe in online investing. And she wanted her investments to be more tangible. So she started flipping houses one by one, setting up deals. I don't know how many guys are in real estate here. This is what she found out. She was super stressed about her houses every single time I talked to her. Like every time I called her, she was like, oh, she was like, super stressed. And she found that it takes at least 6 months to invest in property. You have to put a ton of money in upfront and then pray that something doesn't go wrong. Then she had to deal with and pay all sorts of people like contractors, brokers, agents, tenants, property managers, lawyers, and her deals fell through half of the time anyway, right in the last minute. Then when she finally closed the deal, she would either break even or come out with a small capital gain. And she's super smart. She's like super business savvy, but it was causing her so much stress that it was just not worth it. Then one day she came to me like breaking down because another deal fell through, and I said, hey, are you ready to finally start looking into online trading and investing? And she's like, okay. And we compared our results. I was making more in 1 hour per week than she was investing in real estate full time. And I was doing that with literally no stress. So I showed her some things and bam, she got in. In less than 2 months, she made $12,542, spending a fraction of the time she would have spent in the real estate, and she put in only a quarter of the money. So that is just, she was like, oh my God, she was ready to pull her own hair out. So do you guys see how investing is 10x easier than real estate? I don't know how many real estate people we have here, but this is a common question that I ask. And like, I asked people, do you like to make higher return investment with a quarter of the capital? Wouldn't it be nice to see an extra 12K in your first 2 months without all the hassle? So you guys might be asking, who does this work for? And so this is what this works for, right? This works for new moms, single moms, working moms, stay-at-home moms, momtrepreneurs, helicopter moms, coupon moms, social media moms, empty nesters. This works for complete newbies to investing. This actually also works with experienced traders who want to have an additional long-term investment portfolio. This works for techie and non-techie people. And you guys, the system is designed for all types of people. So you can get started and finish wealthy regardless of where you're at right now. I don't know how you guys are in the US today, but we literally have students from over 57 countries. So you can invest from literally anyway. So the first thing you're gonna get is the Make Your Money Work for You 8-week PowerCourse, and its total value is $9,997. And that holds all of the information that you need to be successful in investing. But I wanted to make sure that you guys don't have any excuses and there's no possible way for you guys to fail. So I was thinking, okay, what else you guys are gonna need to be successful? And just because you've gone through the content and you know how to invest, it doesn't mean that you know how to make the right investments for you, right? We talk about that. The investments are going to be different. You remember back when I lost $15,000 in my account? It was because I was making trades that didn't match with my risk tolerance. It was working for other people, but it wasn't working for me. And I was making the same trades and investments as the people who had much higher risk tolerance than I did, that had a much bigger account than I did. And their accounts and lifestyle allowed them to make the choices that just didn't make sense for me at the time. So just because they were making money in an investment, it doesn't mean that I was, and I literally lost money. So do you guys want something that is going to make sure you don't make the same mistakes I did and lost 15K? All right, cool. So when you invest today, you're also gonna get my Ultimate Investors Toolkit. So the Ultimate Investors Toolkit is going to save you from falling into the same trap so that you can make investments that are perfect for you and only for you and your family. This is important because you can ignore all the noise and make a safe and sound decision every single time. So what's in here is all of the tools and resources you'll ever need to invest. And some of them include a profitability calculator, which shows you exactly how much you should be investing over what period of time to get to your financial goals at your unique level of risk tolerance. You're going to get a risk assessment calculator, so you know exactly how risky an investment is before you make it. You're also going to get my budgeting calculators to plan so that you can allocate the right amount of cash into your long-term investment and medium-term investments and take advantage of compounding. And you're going to get some of my investment indicators, like the one that I showed you, the clouds. You're going to get an actual case studies of that too. And these show me exactly when to make investments that are right for me. And I've just tried just about every indicator out there, and I've picked the best ones to show you exactly how to use them. And next, I'm gonna give you all of my favorite websites, forums, and resources that I use and refer to every time I invest, and a bunch of other little-known resources that that will help you along the way. So, I mean, literally, if I have had these back when I first started trading on my own, these alone would have saved me that $15,000. So if you're someone who doesn't want to risk it all and you want like the idea of seeing steady growth in your account instead of depreciating in the bank or day trading, then this is for you. So because with all this, you're going to be able to skip thousands of losing trades that I and so many people went through to get it right. You're going to be able to remove 99% of the risk in trading so that you don't make one bad trade and lose all of your money. You're going to get tons of credible resources that you can get all your information from, and you're going to be able to copy your investments from the best of the best. So you're also going to be able to avoid tempting investments that'll cost you. Oh my God, especially this week, it's been crazy. The temptation that I get from people I see on social is just absolutely crazy. So with this tool, you're going to be able to just stay level-headed. You're going to be able to avoid risky investments that don't match your financial goals. I'm going to make sure you avoid those at all costs and you don't make the beginner's mistake of going for a bad one that seems great. And you're going to be able to get rid of fake gurus. So what we're going to get is the Make Your Money Work for PowerCourse. And you're also going to get the Ultimate Investors Toolkit for a total value of $10,994. So now I know a lot of you guys are thinking, okay, I need to be investing. This is awesome. But is this a really good time to get in? Are we already in a recession? Is there a recession coming? And the answer is yes. A recession is definitely coming. We might not be in one right now, but it's not even about the matter of if, it's the matter of when. And I'm super excited for it. And you guys, you should be excited for it too. Let me tell you why. So who here remembers what happened in 2008? What happened at a global scale was a massive global recession and the markets crashed all the way down. This was actually my first time trading though. And this is when, so, I mean, I've been telling you a bunch of stories. I've been going back and forth and losing money, making money. But this was the first time that I used this unique, weird Japanese investment strategy and I made money during the 2008 market crash, right? I invested $10,000 in the market in August 2008. By September, I doubled the money. And that is exactly what the first time that I used Ichimoku. I was in Japan and I got introduced to it. And what I've put together here is the only comprehensive training available on this method in English. And I call it now the recession proofing hacks. And it has everything that you need to know that when the markets go under, it's very likely it's going to be very soon or in a couple of years, you can capitalize on that. So when you invest in today, you're going to get the recession proofing hacks as well, absolutely free. So basically, what you're going to get is the Making Your Money Work for Your PowerCourse. You're going to get the Ultimate Investors Toolkit, and you're going to get the recession proofing hacks, total value of $12,000. So what else do you guys need? I don't want you to have any excuse today. So if you guys are like me, you need to see real examples before you can really understand things. So that's why what I've done is that I've put together all of my investments that I've made in the past 3 years, and I'll log it into a black book of investments for you to see exactly the reasoning behind of what I do. So you're going to get real life examples, my low risk investment, you're going to get my medium risk investment, you're going to get my high risk investment, you're going to get my video walkthroughs. All of them are going to be in form of video, so you see exactly how I use Ichimoku and Fibonacci over and over again, because practice makes perfect. So it's going to be in the black book of investments that you're going to get absolutely free today. So you're going to get the Make Your Money Work for Your PowerCourse, you're going to get the Ultimate Investors Toolkit, the Recession Proofing Hack, black book of investments, total value of $12,888. So you guys, I have 4 minutes to go, and I just wanted to give you one last thing. The number one contributor to success is accountability. Actually, there are two things I'm going to get. So this is our investors club, where all of our investors and moms, they go in. This is unlike any other community you've seen or been involved with trading. This is not like one of those trading groups that everybody's spamming and insulting each other and bringing each other down. This is a devoted group of invest divas, just like you and I, who are supportive, positive, and proactive, and they want to see you win. And I'm super active in this group, and I always go live, address questions. If you have any questions, if you get stuck, this is the place to be at. So you get into the group, you join the Invest Diva Club, you make your first dollar, put in #DivaWin, you get your Invest Diva t-shirt, and you go all through your journey to make 100K Diva. And this is one of the awesomest things. The last thing, I wasn't gonna add this, but I just wanted to take any resistance away, and that is our premium investing group. You guys, so this is exactly what I do real time on Tuesdays, that I basically give you so that you can cheat and basically copy what I do. People pay me now $397 every month to be a part of this group, and the open enrollment is actually closed, but I wanted this because you guys are here today, and this is an awesome event. I just wanted to give you something super special. You're going to get 3 months of free membership to the Premium Investing Group absolutely free. So you're going to get the Make Your Money Work for Your PowerCourse. You're going to get Ultimate Investors Toolkit, the Recession Proofing Hacks, Black Book of Investments, and Insiders Group, plus 3 months free Premium Investing Group membership. Total value of almost $15,000. Obviously, I'm not going to charge you this, but you guys, this is totally worth it, because if I did charge you $15,000 and all this did was to let you take back control of your money and start making it work for you, would it be worth it? It would, right? If all this did was help you start small and safely and grow your wealth without doing any math or being stuck to your computer all day, would it be worth it? Yeah, right? If all this did was to give you the power to pay for your kids' college and buy a house using the money that you already have, would it be worth it? Yeah, right? So that's why, you guys, I had two options. I could go really cheap, but I didn't, because I wanted you to have skin in the game. And that's the reason why I'm creating this something. You can see why this is super valuable at almost $15,000. You can see how it's super valuable at its actual price that you can find on our website. It's $2,997. But today, because you guys are super awesome, thank you so much for joining me today. For you guys, I wanted to get you started at only a one payment of $997. And all you have to do is to go to learn.investiva.com/go. And I know that I have only 2 minutes left. So if you have any questions, let me know, because you guys, you can see why people pay me $25,000 teaching this exact same stuff when they fly me out first class to conferences in Singapore and in India, just to teach them the stuff that you're going to get literally for no crazy amount, almost nothing. Today, if you compare it to other people, you can see how much value you're going to get on top of that. So I would really love for you to go, and we do have a satisfaction guarantee as well. I know this is all the time that I had. All you have to do is go to learn.investiva.com/go and make this happen. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you so much for staying until the end. And I hope that this was beneficial to you or any moms that you have in your life, and I hope to see you on the inside.
All right, thanks